How do you create memorable experiences through videos and live streaming? Well, join me this week as I talk to the godfather of LinkedIn, Brian Schulman. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fanny Dunnigan Show. My name is Fanny Dunnigan, and every other week I come to you with content creators that lead with their heart and do create great impact in their communities and the world. And this week we have such a special guest. I can't wait for you guys to meet him. In fact, if any of you spends much time on LinkedIn, you'll know him already, but we'll get to that very soon. Let's see who is in the feed right now. We have Kenya Neal. Welcome, Kenya. We have Kenneth Jr. Hope I pronounced that right. Welcome, Kenneth. Obviously. Oh, Kevin Hand, what's up? It was so great meeting you at the Association of Business Technology Professionals. We got Eddie from Dallas, Texas. Welcome, Eddie. Nancy Barrows. I think I saw Nancy was from Southern California. We got Roxanne Rapsky. Tons and tons of people. There we go. Nancy Barrows, live from Los Angeles. And we have David Mundy. David, I have missed you. We need to get together. I want to hear all about what you've been up to. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show. And I want to kind of make sure that you guys know to connect with each other and network with each other in the comments. Let people know what you do. Introduce yourself in the comments. It's a great place to meet new connections. I have an awesome audience, kind, full of impactful people. So you'll be sure to meet some awesome people in the comments. So make sure you network with each other. Let people know where you're tuning in from, and then let people know what your expertise is. You could potentially meet a client or a new connection, new collaborator, and learn from each other. So make sure you network with each other in the comments. I challenge you to connect with 3 new people and build your network that way. And please help me tag some friends that you think that would enjoy the show. I would love to have your help in sharing this show and spreading the word about it. And this week, I have a little intro for my content tip of the week. So let me play that for you now. Just a little musical interlude for you there. So my content tip of the week this week is all around how to turn your content into an online course. Over time, you are going to grow on your content journey, and you're going to start to acquire a library of videos and content. So start to notice, what kind of comments are you getting in your comments, and what kind of questions are you getting in your comments of your posts? And also start to notice, what are some of your most popular posts? What do people gravitate to? Which kind of posts get the most attention? And then from there, also kind of think through, what are your clients' pain points, right? What do people kind of really need your services for and need to be addressed? And when you think of those 3 things, over time, you're going to create so much content around those things that can become the basis of a course. And these days, we all learn online, right? I'm constantly reading new articles or hopping onto a webinar or signing up for an online course. I'm like a sponge these days. I can't stop learning. And as we grow, online courses are a great way to serve your audience. So for all you coaches, consultants, even business owners out there, start to gather content from your content journey and create a course out of it. And as a result, that is something that I've been working on over the last year. What I've realized that for my audience is that the number one thing that they struggle with is finding their unique brand and voice. They don't know what to talk about. They're at a loss for content ideas. So as a result of that, I've created an online course. And so I'm pre-launching it exclusively to you guys on the live show. I'm only going to share this course right now over the next 2 weeks with you guys on the live show. I'm not going to announce it anywhere else, so that you guys can have access to this course at a discounted price. So I just want to share with you real quick this course that I've built. It is on how to build your unique LinkedIn brand and create engaging video content. So this will help you conquer your fear of posting, discover your voice, and learn to impact the world. So you're going to learn all about LinkedIn, and I have a framework to help you define your brand and find your unique voice. There's 4 types of content that I'm going to talk about, and it's going to be a 6-part video. I'm also going to give you like 17-page workbook where you can figure out your target audience, your why, your unique brand, and tons of content ideas. And then I'm also going to give you a content calendar that you can fill out and start to plan your content. So definitely check it out. And Anne is going to help me put the link to the pre-launch course. It is going to be $35, the discounted rate, and you can get it at that link right there. So definitely check it out and let me know what you think. It's going to be available at that discounted price for 2 weeks, and I would love to get your feedback. I kind of put my heart and soul in this one, and I would love to hear what you have to say about it and your feedback. And I certainly welcome any suggestions you have. Okay, here we go. And now I want to bring on Anne Small. I'm sure you've seen her all over the feed and in the comments. Anne is my community manager of the show. Welcome, Anne.
Hello there, Fanny. I'm excited.
Yes, Anne will be in the comments helping to make sure I don't miss any questions or your important comments. So be sure to connect with her. And a regular feature that we do with Anne now is we scour the internet, we scour LinkedIn to bring to you the content creator of the week. So Anne, who is our creator of the week?
Okay, drum roll, please. Dun, 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 dun. Creator of the week. Yes, Kenya Neal. Kenya really took us just by storm, man. She was new on LinkedIn. And we all know that getting started can be super scary. But she didn't wait for everything to be perfect and know it all. There's her profile. I'm going to put the link in the comments for you guys. But she jumped right in. She jumped in with all different kinds of content like Fanny talks around. So we wanted to point out, say 3 tips of why Kenya is creator of the week. One is she jumped into LinkedIn. She used different kinds of contact and she wasn't afraid. She went for it. Number 2 is that headline right up there, guys. When you have a chance, and I'm going to put that link in the comments too, just look at her profile. What she does is clear. Everything about her's right there, and it's fluent. The profile, the headline is stellar. And then I want to just point out that she is authentic. People can tell when you post. If you're really in it, if you mean what you're saying, she's authentic. She ends with a question so you can engage and you guys get to know her, and she's building relationships. So kudos to Kenya Neal, creator of the week. Way to go.
Awesome. Thank you for that feature, Anne. And it's a true testament that to us, a creator of the week is really, they don't necessarily have to have huge followings. To us, what's important is that they're out there speaking their truth and being authentic and sharing of themselves. That's a true creator. So thank you, Anne. Thank you for that segment. And Kenya, please connect with her, everyone, and be sure to create that connection and build your network with her. Okay, guys, I'll see you a little later, Anne.
Yeah, aside.
I'm not sure I understand.
Siri thought I was talking to her. Okay, so now to the main event. We are going to talk all about creating memorable experiences through videos and live streams. And I can't think of a better person to talk to on this topic than Mr. Brian Schulman, the founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe, and also known as the Godfather of LinkedIn.
Hello, Fanny. It's good to be here with you, Ray.
We have the real Godfather right here.
You're so kind. You're so kind.
So Brian Schulman is known as the Godfather and pioneer of LinkedIn video and one of the world's premier live streaming and video marketing experts. I met Brian 3 years ago and he was blowing up all over LinkedIn. He has 20 years of proven digital marketing experiencing, strategizing with Fortune 500 brands across the globe, an internationally known keynote speaker. Brian founded and is the CEO of Voice Your Vibe. Isn't that a great name for a company? Voice Your Vibe, which brings his brings his wealth of knowledge as an advisor and mentor to founders and C-suite executives by providing workshops and one-on-one mastery coaching on how to voice their vibe, attract their tribe, and tell a story that people will fall in love with through the power and impact of live and pre-recorded video. So all things video and live streaming, he's the guy to be connected with. He was named 2020 Best Live Festival Show of the Year at the IBM TV Awards, and his weekly live shows Shout Out Saturdays and What's Good Wednesdays have aired live for more than 300 consecutive episodes. Brian, man, and you've been featured in Forbes, Thrive Global, Yahoo Finance, Amazon best-selling book, and syndicated on Smart TV Network. Welcome, Brian, the Godfather.
Yeah, let me go find this Brian guy. Hold on a second.
And It's such a fun show, Brian.
It's so good to be with you. And it just made my big smile on my heart when you reached out, because it's crazy how fast time goes by.
It does. It's been 2 years since we saw each other. My goodness. And shout out to Lila Smith, who introduced us to each other.
Almost 3 years, actually. Almost 3 years next month. I know, crazy. I love Lila. I miss Lila.
Lila. And you got to help us tag Lila in here.
Yes.
So welcome, Brian. Welcome. For all of you that don't know you, or the rare few that don't know you, to me, Brian is the epitome of a creator that leads with heart. Everything he does comes from a place of authenticity, comes from a place of giving, and comes from a place of lifting others. So, Brian, I have always admired your work, and I'm so excited for you to be here. So tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get started?
Thank you, my dear friend. I appreciate you. And it's so good to be with you, and so good to see so many familiar faces and new friends in the comments. So thank you all for being here with us. Gosh, how did I get started? I got, believe it or not, I've been on LinkedIn every day for the last 17 and a half years. Yeah, 17 and a half years. The platform is actually a little over 18 years old. And as Fanny shared, I've been on the internet since it was green screen and chat rooms. That was a really long time ago. Gets really crazy, actually, how fast time goes by. But yeah, so I was on LinkedIn when it literally was just a digital resume and a place to look for a job. And there was no way to communicate. There was no way to post. There was no way to do anything. You just had a resume. You could connect with people and hit the connect button. That was it. Like, that was literally it. And at that time, Facebook was booming and MySpace was booming, but Facebook popped up and really took over that world and became a giant in the very short amount of time. And LinkedIn had popped up, and there was nothing else like LinkedIn at the time. And I just, for some reason, said, this is a place I got to be. I got to be all in. I don't know how. I just knew it was a place I needed to be because at that time, there were about 1 million people on the platform when I joined. And now there's almost 800 million people. So you look at the growth trajectory of what's happened, just in the first year, and then what's happened over the last, 17 and a half years, it's pretty incredible. And all the partnerships that have taken place and integrations, and, there have been a lot of really big moments on LinkedIn, but it's crazy to me, Fanny, just because, when you say things like, 2020 top 50 most impactful people of LinkedIn, and 2020 global leader of the year 2 times, and a top LinkedIn video creator in the world, and LinkedIn video creator of the year in 2019, and top voice, and all these things. And I'm just like, this guy sounds impressive. Who are you talking about? Because I don't look at myself that way. Like, I'm just a guy on the platform. Like, just like, well, not all of us.
One of your things is that you always showed up, right? Like you were so consistent, and you always showed up. Like, what's kind of your motivation and drive behind that? Because as a creator, I know it can get tiring. There's days that you're like, I can't speak another word. I don't want to hit that record button, or I don't want to hit that publish button. Like, what keeps you motivated to be so consistent on this platform?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So, one of the things that I always share with people is, when you come to LinkedIn, it needs to be more than just, I'm looking for a job. I want to do business with someone. I want to partner with someone. Everyone's here to do that, right? Your why has to be greater than that. And my why when I came to the platform was to inspire one person a day. I didn't know how I was going to do it because there was no way to, again, really communicate at all. But I just had this gut instinct that I needed to be there and be here. And so I think the thing to realize is that that's your first step. Like, what's your why? What is your why? Okay. Now, it was never for me about doing business. There have been a number of impactful moments on LinkedIn. I always say LinkedIn has changed my life so many times over the years, especially since video and both pre-recorded LinkedIn video and live streaming LinkedIn Live.
Yeah.
But three major impactful moments on LinkedIn, from being able to publish articles on LinkedIn, being able to create and publish videos on LinkedIn, and then obviously being able to broadcast live on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Those are the three biggest impactful moments in the platform. And so I think, and it's important for people to understand that people that don't know the history, right?
Yeah.
These were all beta. I mean, I've been a part of pretty much all the betas that LinkedIn has launched, big or small. And these big ones, like they'd launch them a year in advance in beta.
Yeah.
And you had to be invited to be a part of these launches. And so I remember literally getting an email in my inbox, my Hotmail account.
Hotmail tells people how old you are.
Right.
Brian.
Right. And it was like, congratulate. And I remember seeing these articles being published, and it was like the who's who of the business world, you know, the Gates and the Bransons and such. And I'm like, wow, okay, where is this? I don't even see this functionality, and realized that's what they were doing. And so I got an invite. It said, congratulations, you're invited to publish on LinkedIn. I'm like, no, somebody hit a button by accident, right? I was like a sales guy at a company at the time. I'm like, who's going to care about what I have to say? Like, that's crazy. And then I got into my head and I'm like, well, what am I going to write about? I have no idea. I sat on it for months, Fanny, and
we're our worst enemies, right? In our heads.
Yeah, no, we are. I feel like it was like February or something. And funny enough, July came, which is next month. And I'm like, I've got it. You know, nobody wants to be, I didn't want to write about business. Okay. Cause I am an advisor and a mentor to companies all over the world. And, you know, I've helped build and grow startups for 20 years. And I don't know. I did that in other settings. I didn't want that to be the place that I did that. Everybody loves a good story. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking, well, what, right? Hotmail. I'm like, what story do I want to tell, you know? And I was July and I'm like, I got it. I'm going to tell the story about the wedding in Hawaii that my wife never knew was going to happen. And you'll see there's only a handful of articles on LinkedIn, on my channel, but that's with purpose, because I wanted each article to tell a story. Right. Remember, this is way before video, guys. And so I wanted you to be able to come into what we would call profile at that time. Now we call it channel, but go to my profile. And if you didn't know who I was, we never met. If you read these articles, you'd feel like you knew me for years, right? Because LinkedIn is very flat. Well, at least it was very flat. It was single dimensional. So I'm
stories
like,
connect.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's all about stories, because we can relate. We don't have to have gone through what someone has gone through, but that experience we can relate to in some way, right? Because of the heart that's attached to it.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so that was the first article, and they're on my channel. You guys can read them. And each one of these stories tells you a little bit about me in different ways. That was the first one. There was one about my superpower being a daddy. I have 2 kids, my monkeys, who I am. If anybody knows me, you know that I love my kids more than anything. And I'm one of the proudest, if not the proudest, LinkedIn dad out there. And I've been putting my kids on video with me ever since you could. My son is literally about to go to Princeton in August. So proud of him.
Hashtag proud dad.
Proud Princeton Papa. Yeah, exactly. And my daughter is actually a junior in high school. She's junior in college, just about to be a junior in college. She had gotten accepted to 9 schools across the country a couple years ago and made a very adult decision to go to junior college, bank all her scholarships, take major courses for free, and then transfer. And so she's down to 3 schools. I can't tell you who they are, but there were many more that she had gotten accepted to. And so of course I will be sharing that with LinkedIn fam once she decides. Yeah.
Now I still remember your story about your very first video, right?
Oh
Because there are still people out there like nervous to get on video, right? And it can be a big deal, but tell us about your first video and how you kind of got over that fear.
Yeah, so this is awesome. So by the way, like all those accolades you guys heard, I want you to understand something. I had never done anything like this before. I was never on this side of the camera. It was always my monkeys, my kids on the other side, and I was videoing them. I didn't know anything technologically, psychologically, emotionally, you name it. I didn't even know there were apps that existed for video. That's how green I was to all this stuff. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to understand. Second, the fact that I've made almost 1,500 videos since I got started just a couple years ago blows my mind. And it's really like thousands if you think about all the outtakes that came that I couldn't save because I didn't know that I needed to have more space to save this kind of stuff. But yes, so LinkedIn Video launched in 2007. It was June of 2017, if memory serves me right. It's been a while. Is that right? I think that's right. Maybe it was 18. Well, it's okay. I have it written down somewhere. So that
it was a while back. Yeah,
it was a while back. And so I had, it literally just showed up in my mailbox on LinkedIn. It was a DM. Congratulations. I didn't apply. I was part of the beta, and there were a couple cycles that took place in little batches. And so I started to see people showing up on video. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? This is crazy. This is huge. And the other thing I always say is that like LinkedIn literally changed forever when LinkedIn Video launched because it came human with a heartbeat for the first time. It was, LinkedIn is even today.
Human with a heartbeat through video.
Yes.
Love that.
It wasn't like it was you show up in your suit and your suit speak and talk about business. And because LinkedIn was a business social networking platform, that's what people knew. That's how we showed up. And yet you had people showing up like Goldie with green hair. And
yes,
I'm talking about
Goldie Chan, folks. Yes.
It's like a younger generation that was showing up. And remember, I've been here from almost the very beginning. And when I say younger, like I could have been dad in age to some of these incredible creators that were showing up for the first time.
Remember Quentin? Oh,
Q. Yes, Q calls me his LinkedIn dad. Yes, I love Q. And by the way, all these creators you have to go and check out, guys.
Yes.
Like they're amazing. Okay,
Quentin, Goldie Chan,
Quentin alums, Goldie Chan, Dr. Mike Morton.
String Newen.
Yes. String, that's right, on the other side of the world. There were a lot, and this was, again, early days, right? And so I saw, and by the way, there's an article on my channel that says this is LinkedIn Video, and it tells you the story from the beginning. But I'm gonna share some of these bits with you. So I saw the video icon pop up on my phone. If you guys go to LinkedIn, you open it up, you go to where you can post, you'll see this little video icon. Well, when I saw that video icon pop up for the first time, I said, yeah, no, you're out of your ever-loving mind. There's no way I'm showing up on video. Because of a very important reason. I have a neurological disorder called Tourette syndrome, and they're uncontrollable tics and twitches, and you don't know you're doing them. And in the height of my Tourette's as a teen, I was somersaulting from room to room, jumping up and down. I had these intense neck twitches, wrist flicking, multiple facial expressions, multiple auditory noises, multiple noises that I would make, and a lot of times they would commingle. And again, the thing with Tourette's is you can't cure it. Now, there are many different ways that through both medication and then natural calming mechanisms that helped me when I, in 8th grade, decided I wasn't going to take the medicine anymore and didn't. And so I was also a 1.5 pound miracle baby in the 70s that wasn't supposed to live. So not only was I the small kid, I was the weird kid growing up different and wanting to just blend in. And I realized that I just needed to be me. And by being me, I was inspiring others by sharing my story. Now, here's the thing. Coming from where I have, it was the first thought in my mind of video going, what if my Tourette's come out? Because nobody in the business world and nobody in my circle, if you will, unless you're really close, knew about that stuff because it wasn't something I was talking about. So immediately fear got into my head going, forget the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing. It was fear in my head going, what if? What if my employer sees this? Am I going to lose my job? What if so-and-so, it's all those things that as creators go through our heads, right?
Yeah.
And so
our head trash.
Oh, big time. big time. Now, so much head trash, Fanny, that it took me 5 months to muster up the bravery and courage to take the leap and make that first video. Now, I was doing what we do, which is showing up and supporting others. Right. And naturally, when you do that, it comes back to you. And so Goldie and Dr. Mike Morgan and Fahad Muhammad had started a campaign, because that's how, by the way, all of us creators got started on video, was through hashtag campaigns.
Yes.
And so they started this hashtag campaign. I'm going to back up in a second, but I started this hashtag campaign, and I see your questions too, by the way. I'm going to get to those in just a second.
Yes.
So this hashtag campaign called hashtag 5 videos. And the whole premise behind it was, you've never made a video before, 5 videos in a row, meaning 1 each day, 5 days, right? Now, what got it started at the same time LinkedIn video launched was a hashtag campaign called Let's Get Honest. And people like Michaela Alexis and Swish, Manu Goswami, and many others. It was a handful of them that kind of kicked this off. And it was all about sharing something about yourself that no one knew about. Now, again, remember, guys, LinkedIn was a business social networking platform that was just about business. Well, when people were showing up for this Let's Get Honest campaign, they were talking about fears and failures and speech impediments and agoraphobia and rape. I'm talking very, very, very personal stories from their heart that they hadn't shared before. And it was so incredibly inspiring, not only just because of the stories, but guys, like I said, I could have been dad to so many of these creators in age. This was not a group, a demographic that was showing up on LinkedIn before. Right?
And in a way, like you formed your own tribe in a way, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, us LinkedIn creators, us pioneers in the early days, like it was all brand spanking new. And it wasn't the fact that LinkedIn was behind the game compared to other platforms. It was when you're immersed in a platform, you're like, oh my gosh, everything's a shiny new penny when it shows up. And it's like, this is amazing, right? It's incredible.
Well, one of the things that I love about you is that you have this saying called like your vibe attracts your tribe. Right. And you created this huge tribe. I mean, all of you guys kind of gravitated to each other. You guys were kind of the early adopters of LinkedIn video. What did you mean by that? Because it's such a catchy saying. And every time I think of it, I think of you. What does your vibe attracts your tribe mean to you?
Yeah. So when we were making those videos, right, we were a tribe. Like we just we didn't know each other, but we were supporting one another. Right. And that's the key, right? I mean, collaboration is incredibly powerful, guys. And we were, as I always say, like, think of a mountain in front of you, right? Like we had to carve through the mountain. Then we had to get all the rocks and the dirt away. And then we had to pave that flat. We had to make it flat so you could walk through it. And then we had to put cement on it. And we had to wait for it to dry. And then we had to walk over it. And we literally, that's what we were doing. And we would ask each other all the time, like, what are we doing here? You know, I mean, my videos had nothing to do with business, by the way. Like I can count on 2 hands twice out of 1,500 videos over the course of the last couple of years that I've made where I ever talked about business. Remember, everyone has a different vibe. And that whole, what Fanny was saying was your vibe attracts your tribe. It does. See, because it's, as I always say, it's the heart of it all that matters. And it's all about showing up and being you and sharing from your heart. My showing up, like, you know, I tell you about being weird and different and the small kid growing up. Like I had a hard time finding my tribe growing up. It was not easy for me. I got bullied. There was a lot of things that took place. And I honestly, I didn't truly find my full self until after the day after that first video on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Because that first video was me telling my story for the first time in a war, you know, and at that time in front of 500 million people. And I was scared to death. And I
do find that when you go on your content journey, you end up finding yourself. Do you find that?
Oh, I did. I truly did. And I accepted my whole flossom self for who I was. And, you know, it was truly the first time, Fanny, that because of all the love, support, and encouragement, which, by the way, are not words you would expect to hear on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But that was what we were fostering. right? A safe space, a place to collaborate, a place to show up, a place to be you, and not use words that are overused, but genuine and authentic, and just being and sharing you, right? Because it wasn't about business. It was about being you and showing up and sharing you. And so it changed my life. That moment after that first video changed my life. And by the way, after I made that first video, I had to make the other 4, and I was on a business trip for 4 days. So I literally had said, I reached out to my friend, Amy Blaschka, who was my twin. And I had said, Amy, you've been making videos. Help me out. I have no idea what the heck to do, literally. And she's like, okay, you have an iPhone. I said, yeah. She's like, okay, well.
Because you have accountability then, right?
Well, yes,
you were accountable. Yeah.
Well, here's the accountable part. Goldie called me out, and I had let her know the app appeared, disappeared, the little LinkedIn, the little video icon. It just kept appearing and disappearing. And I was like this, it was crazy. I was like this devil angel on my shoulder going, okay, I can do this. No, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I told Goldie, I said, I don't have it. It's showed up and disappeared and it didn't come back. And she reached out to the video team and said, hey guys, here's the thing. And so she sent me back a screenshot and then a message with her. And it said, you know, he'll be lit back up like tomorrow or whatever. And the message with it was no excuses.
No excuses.
And so I didn't want to let Goldie down. I didn't want to let myself down. And the thing was, the way that because it was really, really awkward for me to be showing up and sharing this stuff about myself, because in my mind, I'm thinking, I hate talking about myself. Why? Who's going to care about this? But it's not about you. And for me, the taking the leap and just starting and doing this was building and growing startups for 20 years. That's how I equated in my head to go, okay, I can do this, because I never knew where I was going to go. I never knew what was going to happen, whether we're going to fall down and fail famously or whether we were going to quote unquote succeed. Right. Yeah. So I just said, okay, this is like any other journey I've been on, building and growing startups. Just do the same thing. Like just go with it. You'll figure.
Now, Brian, like a lot of people, because you speak very authentically and you found your voice, right? But a lot of people are still, as they kind of get on their journey, and even in the midst of their journey, they're still struggling to find their unique voice, right? And you have some tips around that, right? What are your 3 tips to help these folks find their unique voice?
I do. I'm actually going to share 5 with you. So these are 5 quick tips to getting started, 5 quick tips to becoming one of the world's top LinkedIn video creators, which still blows my mind saying those things. But yes, and I want you guys to understand, I have been through all of this. I always tell anyone that's getting started, I have literally been through anything and everything you could possibly imagine going through, from the worst of the worst to the best of the best. Okay, so tip number 1 is show up and be human. Now you'd probably sit there and go, well, yeah, why wouldn't I do that? Put the phone in front of your face, hit record in selfie mode, and you tell me you're not freaking out right now. Like legit, seriously. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And by the way, I've graced the stage across the world, and it doesn't matter. You put the phone in front of your face, it's a whole nother experience, okay? So tip 1 is show up and be human. You have to just start. You don't have to know where you're going to go, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. You just have to start. So being brave and courageous to take the leap. Tip 2 is engage in support. Build this. This transcends across all platforms, guys. Engage in support. Build community and shine your light bright on others. Okay, these companies, these technology companies, and I come from this world, build these platforms. Well, if people don't show up, it's not going to succeed, right? So I always say LinkedIn is this digital playground that was built for us, right, as kindergartners to show up and play. Fanny decides she wants to go on the swings. I'm jumping in the dirt. Mike Cassavant's off with his shirt, riding a 3-wheeler, like whatever it may be, right? And we don't know each other. And we look at each other, look at Fanny and go, hey, you want to go, you'll play over there? And you're like, yeah, hey, let's go do that. And we become best friends, because in kindergarten, that's what happens. There's no judgment. Doesn't matter what you look like, what color you are, where you're from. We're just kids. We're all kids in the same playground, sandbox, right? So build community and shine your light bright on others. It is one of the most important things you can know about LinkedIn. because it's all about the people. Tip 3 is create. I want you all to hear me when I say this because it is really, really important. You have a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and a story that can positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life by showing up and being you. Show up on video, share your stories. It's all about relatability. Now you're sitting there going, okay, I get it. I'm bought in. Like, okay, well, now what? What do you talk about, right? Talk about what you're interested in. Talk about what you're excited about. Talk about what you're passionate about. And in these times that we're in, guys, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. I know the world is starting to open up and all those things terrifies the heck out of me. Okay? Talk about what you're scared about in these times that we're in. And remember that for LinkedIn video specifically, 60 seconds or less is your best friend. Now, if you're nervous, which you probably will be, and that's okay. Remember, it's okay to not be okay. Start a video journal. You know those little journals you used to write in, you know, Dear Diary? Start a video journal. 1 a day for 30 days. Now, you're going to get comfortable being uncomfortable because that's when you do, or you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because when you do, that's when you learn, that's when you grow, unbeknownst to you at the time, by the way. And that's when the magic happens. And you will look back in reflection and go, wow, what a time of growth I went through. I didn't even realize it. So when you have those moments, and they will happen a lot over the course of your 30 days, when you really feel uncomfortable as you're making these videos, think about me on your shoulder right here saying, you're growing right now. Keep going. You've got this. Now, number 1, it gets you into the habit of picking up your phone, smiling, as the very first second of the frame of your video is what you see once you post. Forget editing and all that. Just straight raw making a video. Hitting record and talking to yourself. It doesn't matter in this case. This is your video journal. It doesn't matter how long the videos are, guys. 1 a day, every day. Don't make more. There's a reason. And the point is getting you used to the motion. I will tell you, I literally would pick up my phone and I'd start to get nervous and terrified and sweating and all that before I even start hitting record. That motion is very important. So whether you're happy, sad, mad, glad, maybe you don't want to make the video, tell yourself that on camera. It will happen again and again. And you will look back and remember when you're on video 19, hey, I didn't think I could do that. And I did. And I can do it again because you're going to watch those videos you made. Remember that the dot right here, this dot, at whatever side is where you connect with your audience. I know there's questions. Let me get through this real quick.
Yeah.
Because I'll forget if I don't.
Number 4 tip.
Yes. But remember the dot is your lens. That's where you connect with your tribe. If you keep looking at yourself, flip your phone over, print out a picture of somebody or something that makes you feel at ease and comfortable. Okay. Your best friend, your mom, your dad, your partner, your dog, your cat, whatever it is. Okay. Because remember, for the lens, and I want to show you something real quick. I'm looking at the screen right now. Look at my eyes. Now I'm looking at the lens. You see that we're connecting now, right? That's really important. It's really important. So remember, you're just having a conversation with your friend, okay? And you are creating content, by the way, when you're doing this. Because later, those videos where you're talking to yourself and you're going, I can't, and then you did, and you say, I did, and I can, you'll post those because they will inspire those people that were like you that didn't think they could, that said they can't, and were inspired by you because you did. So pick up the phone, and I say phone, not your computer. Motion creates emotion, guys. Use your phone. Your backdrop is your setting too. It's a character in your journey. Pick up your phone, smile, hit record, still smiling, wait 2 seconds and go, because your smile and your laugh and your voice are your unique trademarks, okay? The process of going through that is to help you get in the motions of taking those steps we talked about. Okay, tip 4 is to be consistent. I do not like talking about myself, but I will say this. I am one of, if not the most consistent creator on the platform, and I say that over time. And that's because I have never not shown up every day for the last 17 and a half years. Consistency is key to success in anything, guys. Create a content strategy and a calendar to create a level of consistency that works for you. And I say what works for you because Your consistency is going to be right for you. My consistency is not going to be right for you. When you show up consistently, your tribe knows when you're going to show up. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Tip 5, collaborate. I say it all the time. Nancy knows what's coming. Tim's in the comments knows what's coming. Anybody that knows me knows incredible things happen when we come together. I want you to remember 3 things. Remember that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Simon Sinek said that. Remember that your smile is your logo. Your personality is now your business card, and how you leave other people feeling after that experience with you through video, whether it's pre-recorded or live, is now your trademark. And remember this, most importantly, Maya Angelou said it perfectly. People may forget what you say, but they will never, ever forget how you make them feel. It is truly the heart of it all that matters, you guys. If you come from your heart when you show up, and you start talking about things that you're excited and passionate about, it's going to get felt through the lens every time.
Absolutely. And we have a question from Poonam. She asked Brian, how is creating video in LinkedIn different from other social and job websites? What do you think is special about LinkedIn video?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So here's what I want you to understand. You need to be seen and you need to be heard, right? You can go to Facebook and Indeed and, but you can't show up that way on there, but Facebook and YouTube and you name it, right? Video functionality is there on all these, and you can talk about business, right? They didn't all start that way. Facebook was friends and family. YouTube was a mud. It was literally a mixed bag of everything, right? LinkedIn, business social networking platform. Now, you know that, and then you're in your head going, oh, it's a business social networking platform when you talk about business. No, you show up and be you. There are over 765 million business professionals on LinkedIn. By the way, up 85 million since the pandemic started. It's actually probably more than that. I'm not sure.
Grown.
It's grown. 260 million quote unquote active users, meaning you got a profile, you're there, but single digits creating content, you guys. LinkedIn video is the most organic platform on the planet. I would say TikTok is probably next. There's no better time than now to be showing up and being present.
The reach is still incredible.
No, it is incredible.
Yes.
I think the other thing to remember too, just, okay, but why video, right? Like over 80% of content consumed online is through video. Videos help build brand awareness. 90+% of people use video to make product and service purchasing decisions. Social videos generate 12x the shares of text and images combined.
Yeah.
Okay. If you think about your audience, your tribe, your vibe attracts your tribe. Yep, you got it, Fanny. Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a job, if you're looking for clients, partners, etc., you need to know that predisposition is here already on LinkedIn. You don't have to convince anyone to show up that's why they're here.
Yes.
You just have to show up and be you, because it's the human they connect with before the job, the role, the title of the company.
And I've noticed over probably the last year, the video, like the pre-recorded video views have kind of gone down, right? But at the same time, I personally still feel that LinkedIn video has such an impact to connect with the audience, right? But what is your thinking around that? Despite that, why is video still so critical on LinkedIn?
Yeah, look, the numbers have gone down, and I think they've gone down because remember, like any great company, it's not like you're buying 1 million servers and you're ready to roll. You can't predict what's going to happen.
Yep.
You slowly grow and you tweak and prod along the way for growth. And LinkedIn grew really, really fast.
Yes.
Really fast, hyper growth. And so I think my personal opinion, I have no people, friends at LinkedIn, all that. This is my personal opinion. This is not, just know this, my personal opinion. I think LinkedIn's re-architecting part of their back end. And I think part of the reason why views have dropped on video is to maybe steer you away from making videos and creating other types of content. Because guys, there's so many ways to create content.
Yeah. I think it's the rare platform where you could do everything from writing to video to live streaming. Like no other platform can do all these different forms of content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a question as to whether I knew Jake Melton. And So let me tell you about this. Jake is my brother from another mother. Jake is my Twitch bro. So I was introduced to Jake Melton by my other friend, Jake Jordan in Texas. They're both in Texas. We're in Texas. And remember, I'd been on LinkedIn for a really, really long time. I didn't know anyone else on the platform that had Tourette's. Jake reached out to me again, one of the early days pioneers as well of LinkedIn video. And he said, hey, I need to introduce you to my friend Jake. He has Tourette's too. We got on a Zoom call. We were brothers instantly.
Yes.
Like I
remember that.
Crying, and it was crazy. And I was just getting ready. Fanny, this is when we meet. When we met, my dear friend our dear friend Lila Smith was throwing me a launch party for my company, Voice Your Vibe, which turns 3 years old next month. And Jake, I said to Jake, I'm gonna be in Texas. Like, I'd love to put faces and voices to the text. I'm trying to
I'm going to tag Jake in the,
Yes, please tag Jake. I love Jake with all my heart.
Jake Melton, we're talking about you. And Jake was also one of the creators that really blew up on LinkedIn as well through consistent content creation and videos.
And he showed up being Jake Melton, and he showed up sharing who he was and his story in Tourette's, and it was incredible. It was incredible. So Absolutely. Jake and I were on a Zoom call, and he pulls out this card. Okay, this is from the Tourette's Association of America, and it says, why do I act this way? Because I can't control it. I have Tourette's syndrome, a medical condition. It causes me to make loud sounds, have twitches, and say things I don't mean. Please understand that it's a medical condition. I cannot control my tics. Treatment for Tourette's and tics is limited. There's no cure. Please be aware that my condition is covered by the American Disabilities Act. And Jake gave me this. Jake had it. He showed it to me when we were on a call. I'm like, that's incredible. I never knew this existed. And I was diagnosed in the 80s when it was really new. We spent a good amount of time together. We made some videos. And that trip,
and that's authenticity right there.
It is. Yes. It is. And guys, when I say incredible things happen when we come together, like, the one thing I loved more than anything was making videos with other creators. Never knew what we were going to talk about. That was the whole funness out of it. Literally, I'd pull out my phone, hit record. We'd say, this is LinkedIn video.
Yeah, and I remember that.
This
is LinkedIn video.
That all spawned from my very first video. I just had it in my head and it just came out. And every single video I ever made, that's how it started. And anyone I was ever with, they would do it with me. And it became this thing, and people started doing it like all over the world too. It was really cool.
Well, your vibe attracts your tribe, right?
It does. But that's the thing, Fanny, is all those accolades we talked about, guys, I want you to understand something. I was just showing up on video, having fun and being with other creators. We were dancing with my kids. We just did random fun stuff. It was about fun for me. It was not about business. And yet all the opportunities that created, literally taking me around the world, Forbes featured all those things Shani shared, just from showing up. I want you to understand the power of showing up and being you, because as I said before the job, the role, the title, the company, we're all humans with a heartbeat. That's who we connect with, right? You do business with people you like, know, and trust, those people that you connect with.
Absolutely. Now from LinkedIn video, we've kind of morphed into LinkedIn Live and live streaming. And, where do you see kind of the future of live streaming and the benefits of that?
Yes. So I shared a quote before from Maya Angelou, right? Now more than ever, people forget what you say, but they never forget how you make them feel. In these times that we're living in, Fanny, people are yearning for connection, and they have been for the last year and a half, right? What has created the disconnect is a global pandemic. Right. We literally have been cut off from our normal places of connection. We weren't going to work. We weren't going to the gym. We weren't going to restaurants and happy hour and the park and the movies, live events, whatever it may have been. And, we weren't leaving our homes, and we were looking for community, and people want to connect with people they relate with. And with, again, 775 million beating hearts on LinkedIn, again, there are people behind the profile. And as I said before, the job, the role, the title, the company, we're humans with a heartbeat. And this COVID-19 pandemic has impacted virtually every industry that you can think of. And it's changed the way that we travel and we learn and we watch and we enjoy culture. And however, the one major silver lining has been the rapid adoption of live streaming.
Yeah.
Why? Because when in-person connection and attendance is taken away from you, live streaming becomes the next best thing, right? Uscreen had shared that late last year, while LinkedIn Live, made it to market, a little bit later than others, June 2019, the platform is still as valuable ever. And I'm going to share some stats with you because it's important. The average LinkedIn user has 2 times more buying power than the average internet user, which makes live video on LinkedIn a must-have tool for every marketer's arsenal. LinkedIn said that LinkedIn Live has grown 158% since February of 2020. Live videos on LinkedIn drive 7 times more reactions and 24 times more comments than just standard video posts. That was also from LinkedIn. And 3% of marketers use LinkedIn Live. That was from Social Media Examiner. So you have to understand, right? Business starts with relationships. Relationships start with community. Community starts with you. And it is the heart of it all that matters. So again, remember, before the job, the role, the title, the company, we are all humans with a heartbeat. And when we bring our hearts together, incredible things happen because community is everything, and your vibe does attract your tribe.
Now, a lot of people have been struggling because they still haven't opened live to a ton of people, right?
Yes.
Do you think that they'll eventually do that? And if not, how can people get approved for LinkedIn Live? I know so many people applying.
Oh gosh, yeah, you have no idea, Fanny. I had gotten access on my birthday. It was May 13th in 2019, I think it was. And it was another thing. I didn't apply. It just popped up in there and it was on my birthday. I'm like, wow, what a birthday gift.
Happy birthday.
I know, it was an awesome birthday
present.
Gift. But here's what I'll tell you. No, I do not think that everyone's going to get LinkedIn Live. I think they're going to continue, even though it's still in beta. I do believe they are still going to go about the process the way they do, which is you apply, and it's a full-on process. So all of you understand, LinkedIn Live, again, is currently still in beta. There are what I would call a few broadcasters when you think about 775 million people. There's less than thousands of us, less than that. So the feature is not available to all members or all business pages because you can apply for LinkedIn Live both as an individual as well as a business. Now, if you want to request access to become a LinkedIn Live broadcaster on LinkedIn, you can. There's an application that you can fill out. And by the way, I'm dropping it in our private chat here, guys. Now, here is what I will tell you. Be prepared to be denied over and over and over again. Nancy Barrows is in the comments.
Yes.
She's the one person I have known.
This.
49 times, you guys. 49 times she applied for LinkedIn Live.
That's persistence.
She got rejected 48 times. And I had many conversations with her through this process when she wanted to just say, screw it. I'm not going to do this anymore because, this just doesn't make any sense. So I was part of the first wave of again, LinkedIn Live. And here I'm going to give you some tips.
Yes.
And Nancy, these same tips. There is no back door. There is no quick fix. You have to do the work. You just have to show up and do the work. So here are your tips. Don't be discouraged if you're denied. Okay. Most are denied. Okay. So now what? Tip number 1, go live on other platforms. Show LinkedIn that you already create live video content. Go live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, to name a few. Make sure that they are set to public so they're easily accessible so that you can share them in your applications when you reapply. Okay. Also, so LinkedIn can find them, which is really important. Tip 2, create native videos on LinkedIn. We just talked about all that stuff, right? You want to show LinkedIn that you know how to create videos. Tip 1 helps you accomplish Tip 2. Slice up your live video broadcasts into 60-second bites, clips, noting where you are live, hey, here's a quick clip from, this is episode 35 on Facebook and YouTube, not live on LinkedIn yet. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I've applied many times, still haven't gotten approved yet. You need to let them know that you're applying, that you're there. Okay. Tip 3 is engage on other live streams. Engage in others' live streams on LinkedIn. It grows your tribe. It helps you understand the feature. It also shows you're invested. And look at all the people you get to meet. You literally never know who you're going to meet, and it could change your life. You are one click away from a life-changing experience with another member of your LinkedIn fam. Ask to be guests on LinkedIn live shows hosts. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of us in the scheme of 775 million people, guys. When you show up on other shows, LinkedIn sees that. Tells them a type of vibe that you have, how you flow in conversation. I will tell all of you that are with us live and those of you that show up in replay, come and be a guest on one of my weekly LinkedIn live shows. What's Good Wednesday live, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Shout out Saturdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. You can come and be a guest because all of our guests from the shows come directly from the comments live in the moment. Okay?
Yep.
Tip 4 is don't be discouraged. This is the last one. Don't be discouraged. Take action on steps 1, 2, and 3, then reapply. And again, and again. By the way, when you are showing up on other people's shows, grab those links. Ask those hosts for downloads of those shows so you can have them, and you can then create micro content from that, which are little bites, little clips. Okay? In the meantime, go and show up and support others. Build your tribe. Then go back and engage in the post again and replay. Let them know you appreciate their content.
Absolutely.
Those
I saw in here.
Yes,
Cameron. Yes. I lost the comment, but Cameron Toth was saying that, yeah, he applied multiple times and then eventually he got it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, multiple, like, remember, Nancy is the most I've seen so far. That is what I call persistence. Polite.
Kudos to Nancy. 49 times. I love it.
It's incredible, guys. But I'm just telling you, like, don't give up. And the reason why I'm telling you not to give up, we talked about metrics earlier. Okay. Single digits creating content on LinkedIn. LinkedIn Live it's hot. Everybody wants it. Not everyone's going to get it. Don't give up. Your persistence will help others understand that it's important for you to be there. And by the way, LinkedIn is looking for differentiating factors. You know, they want to make sure that's not the same stuff all over the place. Remember, if you're trying to figure out what your show is going to be about, all that, think about how you're showing up on video to begin with. Just show up and be you. Show up and be you. Bring people together.
And you have brought so many people through your communities, through Shout Out Saturdays, through what was the Wednesday one? Yes. And so and even in this feed, I see tons of like your fans. I mean, what is your secret to building community on LinkedIn, Brian?
Care about other people. You hear the word LinkedIn fam all over LinkedIn. Go and look up the hashtag. You'll see there's like almost a couple of thousand, or no, what is it? I don't actually even remember. I think there's 100,000 people following it. It was me and Sunny Tanan that created that hashtag years ago. Actually, we can't remember who it was, but that's not the point. We felt it. Like, there's a feeling and a vibe that you get, you guys. It's heartfelt. It's real. It is family. I have had a chance to literally meet so many of my LinkedIn fam in person, literally all over the world. And when we do, we were digitally connected for years, collaborating and all that, right? And then we meet in person, and it's like meeting your best friend for the first time. Like it's incredible.
And that's the power of video, right? It's like, you know, somebody before you even meet them.
Yes. That tip I gave you earlier, guys, like, shine your light bright on others. Remember, it's not about you. Yeah. Forbes did not call me the king of community for no reason. Like, the reason is because it's about you guys. Like, you know, like, it just if you focus on others, yes, it'll always come back to you, but that's not why you do it. You do it because you're focusing on others. You're shining the light on others. Lift other people up. You know, I pride myself on these live shows with the fact that so many people come to the shows brand new, and they leap and they fly, and they, you know, it's incredible. They start their own shows, and, you know, we've had people, I mean, during this pandemic, show up that had COVID. Carl Sean Watkins, I call him the Reverend Carl Sean Watkins.
And that's the beauty of virtual too.
It is incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. He showed up with COVID on the show. He was a live streamer. He's like, he showed up in the comments. We said, hey, come join us. And everyone encouraged him, and the positive vibe tribe, as I call them. And he showed up, and he was sitting behind this little desk, and he's like, hi, I have COVID. I haven't showed up. I have no energy. I was inspired. I wanted to show up, and we made him laugh, and he danced, and because we do social distancing, as I call it, on the show, and he shared, and he got so much love and encouragement and support, and he's crushing it right now. Like, it's awesome.
And you know what I've seen lately? I saw Jake Jordan. He is putting together a LinkedIn local. Right?
Yes.
And I mean, I haven't seen any of those in a long time. For those of you out there, LinkedIn locals are basically a way to meet other LinkedIn connections that are in your city. And it's a way to go from online to offline and in person. I mean, Brian started LinkedIn Local San Diego.
I did.
And
Anna
so,
Cathy was the founder out of Australia. She was the founder and wrote a book about the whole movement. It was incredible. And it's an amazing way to come together. So those things, and they did them digitally through the pandemic, but also have started to, open these things back up again. And stay safe, people, please stay safe out there.
Absolutely. Brian, time always flies when we catch up, because I mean, we're at the end of the hour already. But I want to kind of finish off, and you've already had so many golden nuggets, but maybe you can leave the audience with a tip for the heart for those people out there that maybe are struggling with consistent content, or just, showing up or finding their voice. What is kind of like a tip or motivating tip for someone's heart?
So I said something earlier, and I want to say it again, because, again, it really is important. And I want you guys to realize that the reason I say this is because I had to get this too. You have a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and story that will positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life by showing up and by being you and by sharing you. It's not about other people going through what you've gone through. It's about the feel, the vibes, the emotion, the connection. If you are feeling vulnerable in a moment, go with it. It's really important. I want to give you an explanation as to why. There was a creator on the platform, Aaron Hennig. He lives in Texas. He hasn't been on for a while. And he showed up, but he was part of the early days. He's huge. I'm short. Everybody's huge to me. But he's like 6-7 feet tall or something. Bald guy, bearded. He's amazing. Biggest heart in the world. He shows up in his car. Glasses on, sunglasses. He says, I've got my sunglasses on today. I don't think I can get through this if I don't have them on. He was talking about his mom who had cancer. I was happenstance scrolling through my feed when I caught this video. This is the power of showing up and the power of impact. My mom had cancer at the time. I literally felt like Aaron was talking to me. I was bawling when I was watching this video, and I called him after and I had such a hard time speaking because I was just so impacted by his video. And his mom is okay. Everything's good. But I said, my mom is going through cancer right now. And your video literally popped up in my feed, and you hit me like a brick wall. And I cannot tell you how much I needed to see that. How much I needed to hear it. And I told him I loved him and how grateful I was. Because it's very easy to feel alone, you guys. That's the other thing. As you go through this process, it is really easy to feel alone. By the way, it's also really easy to ask yourself when you're getting on video going, who am I? I don't know. How should I be showing up?
Right.
It's natural to feel that way and think that. Just know that. I went through that until I realized.
We all go through it. Yes.
You just have to show up and be you. And if you come from your heart, every time you show up and embrace the moment, you are always going to be in the right place at the right time and the right moment.
Love it. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much. For all of you out there, make sure you follow Brian Schulman on LinkedIn, and you can find him every single day, basically, on LinkedIn, but especially on Wednesdays and Saturdays on his live show. And make sure you connect with him and follow him. Just a real quick kind of housekeeping. Brian, stay right there. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to announce a few events here. I want everyone to kind of know about the Association of Business Technology Professionals on Tuesday, July 27th at 6. We are going to be featuring Sven Gurgitz, who is the CTO of Mattel, and he's going to talk all about technology, leadership, and life. It will be in person only at the Las Colinas Country Club. So be sure to register at abtpdfw.org. And also, I want to give a shout out to my guest, upcoming guest, How I Create Influence in My Industry with Roger Wakefield. He will be my guest in 2 weeks. He is a plumber, guys. He is a plumber that has built his brand on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on TikTok, by being authentic, by being funny and entertaining, by giving great advice. And he's going to talk all about how to find your unique voice and be a leader in your industry. So that's Roger Wakefield in 2 weeks at 4 p.m. Central. And I have a little surprise for you guys with Brian. For those of you that are still sticking around, we have a little trip down memory lane. Brian is going to show you a video of us when we met three years ago. Right, Brian? And
yeah, 3 years ago, yeah.
We had a discussion about being memorable, being unique, and being authentic, and finding, like, being a brand that is memorable to people, right? Talking about memorable experiences. What brands have memorable experiences? So he's going to play that for you guys. Let me get this up in the stream.
All right, here we go. Okay. This is Street Talk in Dallas. We're not actually on the street. We're on dirt in this beautiful park.
Yes,
Clyde-Warren Park. And I'm with Fanny. And we're talking about brands and how important it is for that emotion and that feeling that we all have to a brand, because all the brands that we love, we have a feeling, we have this emotion attached to why we love them. So
do we feel like they care about us?
That's right. Do they feel like that they care about us? And I think a lot of times what happens is that when brands get started, they know their why. They have their story, why they want to change the world. And they're telling that story. But then along the way, they start growing and they forget their why. And they're too focused on product and growth and building and their operations. And this whole time, they're trying to voice their vibe. They're trying to attract their tribe. And yet they're forgetting the true importance of the why, which is that feeling. That's why they started in the first place. So Fanny was saying, we're talking about Apple and just brands that we love. And so you said you called this morning and you actually got a live person.
So my son broke my daughter's Dr. Dre Beats headphones. And I figure I'm going to have to I was going to dig into his piggy bank and pay for it. But I called up Apple, who owns it. I immediately got connected to a live person in the US. And he addressed my problem in 10 minutes. After just some back and forth, and I'm getting a new one.
That's amazing.
A new replacement.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me want to buy Apple again.
Look at that. See? That's a great story and a great example of how a brand makes you feel. Of an example, calling customer service, getting a live human, knowing that you're taken care of.
And super polite person. Super, super polite.
And you're going to remember that.
All kinds of follow-up. Every time he put me on hold, he apologized for putting me on hold. It was amazing.
It's fantastic.
And see, now we're talking about it.
And that's it. Now we're talking about
Apple.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. All right. Yeah. We have to say this is LinkedIn video. I'll edit it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. This is LinkedIn video.
I love that.
Yes, but it's so true, right, Fanny? I mean,
there's the story of a brand. Yeah.
I mean, does it meet a need, right? It's got to meet a need, but also how does it make you feel? and the story, right? Like, I mean, what an impact. We were talking about them.
Yes.
We were talking about them because you felt a certain way. You felt like your need got met. You felt
They made me
taken
feel
care of.
valued. They made
There
me
you
feel
go.
valued.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly. So we
Okay.
continued our walk, Fanny and I, and we happened to walk upon an ice cream stand. And this is awesome. So we're going to share this with you about literally, we're going to take you for a walk with us right now so you can experience what we did.
I always ask myself, what can I learn from this person? I'm going to learn spontaneity from you.
How you doing, man? How we doing? Good.
Hi.
Heard you have awesome pops.
We do, yes.
So tell me, give me what's the skinny?
So the fruity ones are going to be strawberry lemonade, watermelon, peach, and lime. All it is just the fruit. So it's like fruit, water, and sugar. So simple, sweet, to the point. And then our creamy ones are pina colada. It tastes like you're on a beach. Like you're sitting on the beach, eyes closed.
Like it.
Coconut, pineapple, sugar. That's all it is. And then our chocolate one is the like quintessential fudge stick. So if you're looking for like reminiscing of your old times.
See, I love it. How it makes you feel.
Perfect.
Like, that's awesome.
I want to be on that beach you just described.
I know, right? I'm saying the same thing. I'm going for the coconut.
I'm taking pina colada. Let me treat you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So what's the video for?
We're LinkedIn video creators. And, you know, it's all about experience. So
We were just talking about how companies make us feel.
right. And I'm like,
So
okay,
you just made us feel good.
Steel City Pops,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, so what's the story, right? And you're literally telling us a feeling that goes like, oh,
Along with it.
right, like it's not just a coconut, you know, pina colada pop. It's you're sitting on a beach and
Oh yeah.
you know,
That's so like when I first started working here, that's how people explain it to me. Like, or like when I first got a puppy, they're like, yeah, like it tastes like this. Rather than like, okay, it's made of this. It's like it tastes like this.
Being on
Right.
the beach.
The lime is like it's refreshing. Like you're in a pool, like you're sitting there drinking a limeade. It's like
I love it. What's your name?
Thomas.
Thomas Bryan.
Fanny.
Really good to meet you.
Yes.
Wait, hold this for a second. Thomas, do something with me real quick. I want you to say this is
Okay.
I do this with everybody,
This
literally.
is LinkedIn video.
This is LinkedIn video.
You got it.
Got it.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
This
is
LinkedIn video.
And this is Steel Pops in Dallas. And this is Thomas. And he's awesome. Appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Right there.
that is, and Byron brings up something really, really important, you guys.
Right? Yes.
Really important.
Brian Morrison. Shout out to him.
Yeah. One of the most underutilized assets of every brand, of every company, is its people. Right? Like, I get hired to be an
People matter.
for a brand, right? A voice for a brand. Not that I'm telling you not to do that. What I'm saying is you have people that love your brand that are a part of your company. Empower them to be brand ambassadors,
Yes.
right? Empower them to show up and share that love, that feeling, that emotion that comes out of them naturally, right? They're going to talk about you in a way that nobody else is going to, because yes, they love your brand. That's why they're working with you, for you, right?
Yeah.
Now
David Cause says feel, right?
Yes.
It made us feel
Feel.
something. I now want a popsicle.
right?
I'm thinking about the
Seriously.
pina colada popsicle.
I'm telling you. So we continue on for a minute here with our friend, because you guys, it's the stories behind the story that matter, right? You fall in love with the people. We fall in love with stories that people share. So let's hear a little bit about his story.
It's very fun. Like didn't really like the company, and then I came here February, and it's been one of those things where you just kind of like it. You just enjoy talking to people, like getting to meet people like this, or like people from countries you've been to and stuff. So it's like you kind of just end up promoting the place.
You love what you do and you love people, and
It also helps you get free pops too. So
that too.
the
Who's
waste
an
is
interesting person you met while selling popsicles?
the most interesting person I met.
Yes.
gosh, there was a guy who's a flat earther, like not like the typical a flat earther, so believe the Earth's flat.
Oh.
So it wasn't like he looked like he was like one of those like conspiracy theorists, like walked around, like had the trench coat on, had the weird hat on. He ordered a pop, and I was like, you know, it's 102 degrees outside, right? He goes, yeah, I know. And it's one of those conversations where like you just say, yeah, I know, and he turns into the Earth's flat and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, great. So we sat there for probably like 10, 15 minutes, just like, I sat there. He was talking all the time. Just, yeah, great. Okay.
Most interesting person you have met.
Yeah. So it was
the Earth is flat.
The Earth
talks
is flat.
about seawalls, like giant seawalls, like the around the Earth, and no such thing as Mars and all that stuff. And it's all government conspiracy, and we're made from man and all that. So it's crazy. And I met refugees from like Vietnam. I met a Jewish refugee from World War II. So you meet a lot of interesting people. Like a lot of people at Steel City don't like working the shift just because it's like you're outside, it's hot, it's like just the whole day. I on the other hand love this place, love doing this because it's like there's a line that had like 40 people over there. And it's like you talk to every single one of them. It's like you have kids from like 2 years old, people that are like 90 years old. It's like,
oh my God.
We're called to do different things, and I'm called to just talk to people. So it's
even if you want to hire you.
No, man, I love it.
A job opening.
I love it.
See, he said you're called to do certain things. He was called to talk to people. He was called, like, you know, and the stories that he shared, you know, that feeling, that experience, right? It's always about that experience we have one another. That experience I shared that I had with Aaron watching his video. It made me feel so much.
This is all ad hoc, folks. Like Brian and I literally were just walking down this pebblestone path and just came upon this guy. And we just happened to be talking about memorable brands. Now I want a popsicle. And this guy shows up and we just started talking to him. And look how authentic he was. He was so authentic.
Just a down-to-earth guy, right? And you could tell he loves talking to people.
And he loved his job. He loved his job selling popsicles.
He did. And it's an awesome example, right? Of how when you find something that you love, it will literally, you will feel that through the lens, guys. That's what I'm saying. When you show up and talk about, like, guys, we all have vibes. Pick 5. Count on one hand. It's easy. I don't math very well, but that's easy. It's right here, right? 5 things that you love. Fanny's a mom. She's an entrepreneur. She loves her kids. She loves being an entrepreneur. She loves creating. She loves helping people. She loves the outdoors. I mean, again, whatever it is, that's it. Drive your lane. That's right, David. You know, find those things that you love. Talk about those things.
Yes.
There are people that make videos on LinkedIn that are working out, talking about working out, that are, you know, dancing Diana, dancing, you know, other creators.
Plumbing, Roger Wakefield.
Roger's a great man. I love Roger more than anything. I met Roger for the very first time at the launch party for my company where we were at together, which was put on by Lila. Roger was just a plumber at that time. He had just started making videos 3 years ago.
He's probably over 50, right? He started his brand strategy.
He's got the most incredible chops in the world. Like, this dude, he's got the biggest heart. Him and his wife are amazing human beings, you guys.
Age is no excuse. Age is no excuse.
No. He is he's blowing up YouTube. He's blowing up TikTok. He's blowing up LinkedIn, and it started on LinkedIn. Yeah. And he just showed up sharing his passion and tips and all those things. And, you know, he's amazing.
Look at Kenneth in the comments. I've been at my present employer for over 33 years. I love what I do and do what I love. Savor the flavor of the awesomeness in that. Yeah. See, now I want to know where Kenneth works, because I'm like, that must be a great brand.
Kenny D is I would say Kenny is like Lila. When Lila got started, Lila was the queen of engagement. She was literally, she hated video. She was terrified. And Lila comes from a theatrical background.
Yes.
And getting on video, she was terrified. So she would show up in the comments and they were so genuine and they were just incredible. And she would that's what she was known for. That's what Kenny is known for. Kenny is known for lighting up your heart in the comments. He is, He is an amazing human being. You know, when I tell you again, show up, be present. Yes, everyone needs to know Lila. Lila, you guys, Lila, real quick. That's right, Nancy. Age is no excuse. When I told Lila I was starting my company almost 3 years ago, last month, she said, "Can you come to Dallas? I want to throw you a launch party."
Mm.
I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now? What?"
Providing value.
Lila and I had
Right.
never met in person. We had
Leave
done Zoom
heart.
calls and all those things. Leave with your heart. Like, again, you just, guys, just show up.
Brian, thank you. Thank you. Everybody, go follow Brian Schulman. If you're not already one of his followers, you need to be, because nobody speaks from the heart like Brian. So Brian, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for that trip down memory lane. Oh,
Danny,
that was awesome.
I love
Awesome,
you.
awesome.
Thank you so
Love
much
you.
for having me. I'm sending you a huge, huge, huge hug. And to everyone that's joined us today,
Absolutely.
you guys are incredible. I'm so glad that you joined us.
Thank you, audience.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome. And with that, I will close. This might sound familiar, but hashtag shine your light, everyone. Share your message, share your gifts with the world, share your voice with the world, and hopefully you'll choose to do it through video. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Connect with Brian.